We are joined by someone who watches a lot of super sport because there is a lot of golf. I know probably last night you must have been up watching the Live Golf finale in Miami.
It's amazing how it has
actually
just
Saturday night, not last night. Yeah, Dustin Johnson's team eventually winning and collecting what? He got $35 million, yet he got a seven-figure sign-on fee. Reportedly, rather 9-figure sign-on fee, reportedly $110 million to give away his tour card on the PGA
man.
Tour to go to the Live Golf Series. Moses Matsiko, the president of Uganda Golf Union. Those figures. Good evening.
Good evening to you, and of course, good evening to every viewer.
Would you welcome the Live version in Uganda?
In Uganda.
I tell you what,
it's very disruptive.
Being the president of Uganda Golf Union, it's a little bit suspicious on where I would want to advise my Ugandan professionals to go. But what Live has done to the game of golf is a game changer. For instance, you're talking about Dustin Johnson. Dustin Johnson, today, he has probably made more money than most people that have been on PGA for about 10 years.
Sure.
So if it's about an individual athlete and what they will make for themselves, I think Live has changed the narrative. But also speaking from the African perspective, without controversy, we don't have many out there. So this is an eye-opener for everybody to think and say, you know what? There is another option. There's another way to do this. So Live from the without being too aggressive, I think it was a takeover of what had been the narrative. But I think also they're making everybody think, look, can it all go this way? Are there conversations that we need to have about this game? So it's very interesting. We're watching. We're regarded as the small boys, but we're watching.
And just to comfort you, we get it.
Viewers, we invited Matsiko, Mr. Matsiko, the president of the Uganda Golf Union, to talk about the Tusker Malt Uganda Open. But whenever there is money to discuss, the world wants to listen. And if you follow your golf, you must have heard about the Live Golf Series. If you haven't, Google LIV Golf, and then you'll see a lot of content. Most of it is money. Anyway, Moses, how much have you slept? 5 weeks, 5 tournaments, the juniors, then
amateurs,
the women or the ladies, then the seniors, then the amateurs, then the pros eventually finish their tournament on Saturday. Must have been a grueling tournament. Are you, as an organizer, are you satisfied that you've delivered?
Most certainly, I am very satisfied that I've delivered. How long, how much have I slept? I think if I do the arithmetic right now, I will shock so many. But it was worthwhile. People are counting, the outsiders are counting 4 weeks. But I can tell you from the organizer perspective, it's about 7, maybe 8 weeks, because there had to be the planning, there had to be the test runs, there had to be that time when we expect and say, what if everything doesn't go as planned? What if it rains all days? What if this challenge of Ebola escalates and becomes a bit of a problem? It did become a problem, but what if it worsens? What are we going to do? So there was preparation, counter preparation, additional preparation, and that cost us a lot of time. But we thank God who prevailed over, one, the Ebola. We had an event free of any case that was medical related. Later on, Ebola. 2, the rain, the weather, God was on our side. Everybody played their game as expected. Some of the last few days there was rain. It just came, 45 minutes, course dried, 30 minutes extension, and everybody played their game under the sun. So I would say that this is probably one of the most successful that I've seen as president, a Golf Open event.
The decision to take the tournament to the Lake Victoria Serena Golf Resort and Spa also vindicated the ability to maintain the course over a 5-week period of a lot of traffic, because a golf course would never be witnessing that kind of traffic.
Correct.
3-4 times a week.
Correct. And you have to factor in the subsidiary play where you have hundreds, about 200 players on the course. You have to factor in the maintenance teams and equipment being serviced, taking the days off and all that kind of stuff. So I must say that overall, hosting the Open at the Lake Victoria Golf Resort Spa, Golf and Spa has been one of the most interesting things that we have seen post-COVID. One, the course was in a splendid state and shape throughout the Open. Two, that we have seen a true championship facility in Uganda. I can, without shame or doubt, say that right now, Lake Victoria Serena Golf and Spa is a course that I can rate in top 3 in Africa. So for us, the boys who came from the rest of the world, the professional rankings, they enjoyed and confessed that this was a true championship golf course. And we're happy to, first of all, to the developers of the course, but two, to the sponsors who said, look, this could be 10 times costly, more costly than any other course around the country, but let's try it. So ever grateful for Tusker Malt, Uganda Breweries, Case Hospital, ABSA, HK Properties, and many other sponsors that came on board to say, we trust, we see, we love what we see, and we think that this course is going to give us the best of the Opens. I live to celebrate the Open this year. For such a short time, it was something else. And
I want Andrew to jump in. I didn't want to stop at the Live Golf Series. Now I want to get into the play. While you're president of the union and you're supposed to welcome everyone, you had a bias for Uganda winning. Eventually, we had Martha Babiri on the show when she won for the ladies. We had Andrew Sechiveja on the show.
For the amateurs.
Also, for the amateurs. We didn't get Dr. John Muchiri when he won for the seniors. But we spent the past week until Saturday rooting for one of the Ugandan. It's been 8 years. Next year will be 9 since a Ugandan professional won the Uganda Open. And they were beaten again this year. Matsiko. Mutulisa obi sente zaffe. What does that say about, is it about the quality of the golfers that the Open is able to attract, that elevates the standard, or is it about the quality of our golf that we cannot beat most of these foreigners when they show up?
First of all, I like to inform viewers that the professional ranking of Ugandan golf players has improved. COVID-19 was a disruption. Ugandan professionals did not have enough time to compete across the globe. They did not get the competition form. But getting back to who won, how he won, where were the Ugandans? I think there was a trial. Ronald Gumayo gave it a shot.
Yeah.
He was aggressive from day one. He wanted it. He played very well, exceedingly well on day 3, where he was, he just came back and played almost 6 under for the day, 5 under for the day. Yeah. And that was an extremely excellent result for that day. Unfortunately, he entered day 4, the final day, when he was chasing almost 5 strokes. Now, we're all sportsmen here and everybody listening out there. If you enter into a round of golf against a fellow profession who knows, is well aware that he has 5 strokes ahead, there are 2 things. 1 out of 100 you make it. 99 you will suffer.
Yeah.
And that's what we saw. And I remember having a conversation with Guma and said, after he had finished his round, and before his final round, I said, look, chess, aggression with caution. I told him those words.
Yeah.
You need chess, the silverware. But be aggressive with caution. Because if you don't, if you try too hard to chess Robson Chinhoy, who is a very, very seasoned player, young man, but he won. He's won Uganda Open before, at Kitante.
We could have some of those pictures from the Uganda Open. Yeah, I saw them playing earlier.
Absolutely. He was the second last year in Entebbe, where he chased Madoya. Madoya is the Kenyan professional that won, and he lost a few strokes, again being too aggressive. And for me, seeing him win, the win, he attained it on day 3 when he went 5 strokes clear. Now, 2 weeks ago, he was in DRC Congo.
Yeah.
He was in Lubumbashi. He won. And so let's talk about this. One, I think he had the money. He was comfortable, playing very comfortable after winning Lubumbashi Open.
Opens, yes.
Yeah.
2, after
money.
winning, he loves Uganda. He says it to me, he says it to everybody. Don't be surprised when you see him diving into the lake, which was against the safety precautions of the event. But sometimes with athletes and sportsmen, you can't stop it. So the excitement was extreme. But I want to commend a few Ugandan professionals that really you can see they prepared. This course was, it's a private course, but 90 days to go to the Open. It was offered the Ugandan professionals and amateurs of the national team and high, low handicap to go and train and acclimatize 200% with the course. So what happened is we see them come, we see Ronald, who's in top form right now, come and chase day 1, day 2, day 3. He sleeps a bit and he comes in on day 4. He did his part. I am extremely sure that right now my young brother Ronald Rugumayo is happy with his performance. And even if he did not win, there's a lot of lessons he learned. That conversation I had with him, I don't think he's a much better golfer than me. But I told him, be very aggressive, but don't lose the second position. He went on, unfortunately, to lose the second position, but for a good cause. He was chasing the first position. So I really commend him for a job well done. I think in some parts of the game he was a little better than the winner. But look, in sport, the numbers don't lie.
Yes.
Maybe we are getting a beating as Uganda. Of course, they were copy, the last to win in 2014.
Yes.
Now, just to try and, calm down the wounds, I know he wasn't a professional golfer. He played as a guest after winning the amateur 2015. We had a Ugandan win the pro, although he wasn't given money, but he actually beat Muthia Amadalitso. From Zambia,
Ronald Otile,
yes, 2015. That for me was quite something. So we are not doing that bad. But to get into just to at least the Uganda, those who finished in the top 10, just to rick it up for them. Rugumayo tied with Simon Ngige of Kenya. There was a 10-shot margin between them and the winner. And then we had visitor Mapwanya tied for 7th.
Yes.
And then we had Philip Kasozi and Willage Deus Chitata tied for 9th. So, but that at least that's the performance, the top 10.
Correct.
Now, this guy, Shinoi, the Zimbabwean, we maybe there's my colleagues, Innocent Indaola and Darren Alan Chayune, described it quite really well in the monitor. After playing pub, of course he had already won, but removing shoes, going to dive into the water, swimming all the way to the dock of the speedboats and back, just that experience. I mean, isn't it a first in golf? Have you ever seen such celebration? And how much swagger, how much entertainment did he bring to the course?
When he was holding out on hole 18, after everybody knew, every golfer and every person that was watching knew that he had won, we didn't see the jumping into the lake coming.
Okay.
But everybody was excited because he's such a wonderful golfer, very skilled, very humble. The first time for me to see him come out was actually on hole number 13, when he held an eagle, and the entire crowd was for Gumayo. It was for the local boy. I don't blame them. But then he goes on to gesture and say, hey, listen, I've just hold a big bird. Where's the support? So what he was trying, I don't hear you. So what he was trying to say is, look, this sport has got support the local, but also support the good golf. So on 18, he's extremely overwhelmed. He removes his shoes. Nobody knows what he's going to do. And then he jumps into the water. I can say that from the safety perspective, I don't condone it, because nobody knows what could have been under the water, because that's a lake. Nobody knew that Chinoi can actually swim well, and he was diving down. So I remember all of us coming and saying, is this boy committing what I don't want to say, I can't say on TV, or he's just simply overwhelmed and is going to the waters? Does he know the consequences? But anyhow, since I was very close, everybody was happy for that boy. And the excitement was not hidden, and everybody was saying, look, he started swimming up, and it changed. Everybody that had been supporting whoever they were supporting, now the real excitement was on the winner. So from the fanfare bit of things, I think it was a big statement of like, look, you support me, you don't support me, I've won, and I'm very happy, and I give it to you by expressing myself. I think from the sporting perspective, it was a gesture of, I am happy winning this event here in Uganda. So there's the positive, there's the issue on the side of the health and safety, but we let go. Those moments come in sports, they come and go. I've spoken to him quite for some time. He loves this country, he loves the sport, he's extremely talented, works hard, and is very focused. Yeah, and I'm just challenging you know, my brothers from Uganda, that you need a combination of the three: hardworking, talent, but focus. He has it in place.
Had it not been for flight schedules, we were hoping to have Robinson Chinoi on air tonight, but informed us that he has a flight to catch this evening. That's why he's not here. But Matsiko, we want to let you go. First of all, we already said congratulations on holding the tournament. I can imagine what the past 5 weeks have been. But what's the way forward? And it's good we have you on set. The other week, a few weeks ago, we had Jackson Were, your vice president, on the show. Correct. And I was pinning him on how poor he performed in the All Africa Challenge Trophy, where we were champions. I remember I was at Serena with you. I could have punched you if I was a fan. And then thereafter, you took a team to Cairo and also did not perform well there. But you've also had some very good performance. I know you also took a team of juniors to France this year. And then you've had the ladies also play. I remember asking Martha Babiri on the show, and she said one of the reasons they did not play well is because everyone wanted a specific coach of their own who understands their game, and he thought the Uganda Golf Union was not helpful in that regard. They gave them one coach and put them in Kayola, and they had to adjust their game to that coach. So the vision of you as a president, and when these teams are playing, and the level of golf where it is currently, where do you see it as a game now for Uganda?
I think there is a very good progress. First of all, in terms of technical capability or capacity building, I think there's very good progress in all inclusiveness. A couple of years down the road, the ladies playing capabilities was a bit lower. Today, you can literally see that they've come up.
For example, Irene Nakalembe made the cut at the pros.
She made the cut.
Yeah.
She turns pro. A few months down the road, she makes the cut in the pro category.
Yeah.
So much pressure. First time her playing that, and she makes the cut.
Yeah, sure.
It's a big achievement. Flavia Namakula, she is the first Ugandan pro, goes on ahead, extreme discipline, hard training, and she's appointed the coach, the interim coach of
she
the
also won
national
the tournament in Ivory Coast.
She
this
did,
year.
yes.
Yeah.
She did win the tournament. She comes back. She's dedicated to the game. So one is the ladies have come up, all inclusiveness. Two, the level, the skilling capabilities has gone up. Three, the enthusiasm right after COVID is coming up amongst the fraternity. And four, we're looking at junior development.
Okay.
That is our next stop. Because golf is different for so many, well, it's similar to other sports. You start younger, you put in the right investment, you have the right human resource, you manage the team, it grows, it's such payoff. I believe in a few years you will start to see the boys, Ugandans that are in the US right now. You will see them playing. I won't be surprised if I see them playing PGA. They are of that quality. So the good news is that the narrative is being changed a little bit. We have to go back and focus on the juniors, focus on continental, regional and continental competitiveness, and then I won't be surprised if we have the next PGA player or even a tour winner from Uganda. So cutting across, and of course without forgetting that now we have to go back and say, where is golf played? Golf is played on golf courses. Where are the golf courses in Uganda? They're in most cities. What is the effort? So I call upon the government now to look at, do we spare and improve the golf courses in the cities that have been, what do they do? The recoil effect is that we produce more Ugandans from the countryside across the country with playing tactics and skills that are able to take the game to the next. So the news is good. It will take a lot of effort from us, the leadership, but I can tell you that I am 200% that it's getting better and better.
Though you also need to buy some guns and fight the encroachers. My colleague there, Andrew, has been across the country several years ago.
I was in Gulu.
Yeah.
You know the story.
Yeah, I know the story.
There's a more difficult
I know
one
the
in
story.
Bali.
But I need to say that the biggest gun is going to be the Ugandan refusing somebody who's encroaching on a golf course.
Yeah.
That is the start of the fight. Then the union will come in. We've already come in. We've petitioned. And we're getting very good feelers from government, from everybody saying, no. Anybody touches the golf course, we'll deal with them. So we're formalizing. And yes, you're right. We need to protect these sacred facilities, because without them, it's going to be very hard seeing these talents come from across the country.
That is Moses Matsiko, the president of the Uganda Golf Union, detailing what has happened at the Lake Victoria Serena Golf Resort and Spa over the past 5 weeks or so, where we've had the Tusker Malt Uganda Open, right from the juniors and then to the pros at the end. As we take a break, we are going to have that World Cup countdown play, because we are just a few days. It's now under 3 weeks. The World Cup tomorrow should be what, 19? We normally jump out of here when it's almost midnight.
Now,
Today is 20 days.
just before you go there, I need to say something. Uganda also achieved the presidency of Africa Golf Confederation by one of our own. Uganda next year will effectively host All Africa Junior Championship. So these are major steps coming in. And we need to congratulate Uganda.
Johnson Omolo, we discuss you on the show, but on other things.
Johnson Omolo became the president of Africa Golf Confederation, and he's my boss. But Uganda, bravo, and we are looking forward to a lot in terms of decision making coming from that vote of Africa Golf Confederation.
Ahead of the championship, we shall host Omolo as the organizer.
To talk about the All Africa Junior Golf Championship.
I am looking forward to seeing that.
Anyway, thank you very much, Moses Matsiko, president of the Uganda Golf Union.